All right, so we'll call this meeting to order, excuse me, for the North Middlesex Regional School District School Committee for Monday, November 21st, 2022. It's a reminder to the committee and those in attendance that this meeting is being recorded. We'll do the roll call. So Dave, let me know he'll be a few minutes late. Jessica?
Here.
June?
Here.
Lisa?
Here.
We don't have Mike. Randy? I thought I saw Randy.
Yeah, she was here.
All right, we'll come back. Susan's not here. Tom?
Here.
And I'm here. Our next meeting will be held at 7 p.m. on Monday, December 12th. For the consent agenda, we have the approval of minutes from November 7th, accounts payable warrants, and payroll warrants. I'll take a motion on those.
So moved.
Second?
All right. Jessica?
Yes.
June?
Yes.
Lisa? Lisa? All right. I see Randy's back. Randy?
Yes.
Thank you, Lisa. And Randy, this is the consent agenda if you have actually joined. All right, Tom?
Yes.
All right. And I will vote yes. So we will count that 5 with 1 abstention. All right. We did not have any public communications submitted for this meeting. I do not have anything of note for the chairperson's report. So we will go on to the superintendent's report. Superintendent Morgan.
Sure. I just wanted to let the committee know that we held our second budget summit today with town leadership from each of the member communities. Mentioned previously, the goal of these summits is to be as transparent as possible so that the leadership has an understanding as to how we build our budget and recommend a budget on an annual basis. Obviously, letting them know that there will be adjustments between now and the time that it goes before the town meeting, and obviously the school committee in March. As of right now, the plan is to have the preliminary budget message prepared for the December 12th school committee meeting. And at that point in time, we'll be sharing it with the committee and the community shortly thereafter. There will be a central office coffee on December 5th. If anyone has any questions or concerns they'd like to bring to central office, that will be on Monday, December 5th at 4 o'clock. And that link will be shared again in an upcoming NMRSD update. That's all I have for now until I get to the user fees and entry gate ticket prices later on in the presentation.
Thank you. Tom?
Just a quick question. Were all 3 towns represented at the budget summit for those of us who weren't involved?
Yes, all 3. Each of the town managers or town administrators were there at minimum, and they were. So it's been well attended thus far.
Awesome.
The first 2.
Yeah, it's been much better than previous years. So that's been nice. All right. Thank you, Superintendent. We have no old business and no new business other than subcommittee reports. Lisa, anything from Accelerated Repair?
No, and nothing from finance at this time either.
All right. Building Committee, June?
We should have some information for you for the next meeting. The committee was not ready to vote on a recommendation at our last meeting, but we are meeting again on the 29th. And then at which point we'll have a recommendation one way or another.
Excellent. Thank you, June. Communications, Tom?
No update. I received one note from Randy on just updating our review of the regional agreement to be added and posted, but I think everyone else was good with things. So I forwarded that on to be added and posted as needed.
So Tom, we have posted that to the school committee's section of the website. So it's there, and then I'll forward it to Brad for him to include in his next biweekly update. Just we
Awesome.
received it. Yeah, we
Thank you.
received it after he published it. So,
Yeah,
but you'll
perfect.
see if you go to that section, it says updates, and we'll provide the link when Brad sends it out in his biweekly.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Robin. Thank you for posting that as well, Brad. Appreciate that.
Not a problem.
All right, anything else, Tom?
Nope, not for me.
Anything on negotiation? So we can talk about.
We're meeting on that later in executive session, so we'll hang tight for that.
All right, thank you. And last but not least, Randy, policy.
And we just keep trying to plug along, just working on a few things. We haven't voted on anything to bring here, so no update at this time.
All right. Any other business that folks didn't anticipate? All right. Cool.
Craig, did
Yeah.
Brad had something that was on the agenda?
Yes, I just wanted, I didn't go over the fees, but they were in my report.
Am I looking at the wrong agenda?
Sorry, it was in the packet. I mean, not on the agenda, but it was in the packet under old business.
Oh,
Yeah, it's part of Brad's report.
oh okay. Yeah, so we'll go back to that.
Or
Okay,
maybe-
so, and this has gone through subcommittee as well. It just wanted to address, and I do have Principal McMahon on the call as well. User fees have not been something that have been addressed in the district since 2015. And since that time, the operating budget has basically been working to cover dropping deeper and deeper into the red on an annual basis. Some of the obstacles that we've been up against is that transportation costs since 2015 have, for all intents and purposes, doubled. Officiating and supervisory stipends, equipment, league and MIAA memberships, and uniforms have all gone up extensively as well. And Tim did a pretty in-depth dive into what the other mid-watch teams are charging for user fees, and we really were not. We were on the low end, and again, in a budget where we don't put a lot of money into athletics, and a lot of it is done through gate receipts, fundraising, things of that nature. Every year we go deeper and deeper into the red, and it's something that we can either address by adding more money to the budget, or it's something that we would have to ask the families of those participating in those activities to cover. So what we've done is we've done basically a 2-year step plan. It involves high school sports. The only one that's really different is ice hockey. In addition to the user fee, there's also a recommended varsity ice time fee and another ice time fee for JV, which is less because of the amount of ice time. And then obviously looking at the marching band, winter percussion, and winter guard, and bringing those up to par with the athletic user fees, so that basically athletic user fees would be increased from $190 per season to $245 per season beginning next year, and then they would elevate to $275 the year after. $245 is currently the mid-watch average, but again, there are teams in the Mid-Wachusett League that do have larger athletic budgets than we do. We have some urban districts in the Mid-Watch League that get federal funding for athletics, which we do not really have access to. So it does come down to either we increase the budget for athletics and some of our music programs, or we would ask the families of the kids participating in those to help defray the cost, so that we don't go as far into the red as we have been. And to be clear, this is not going to keep us out of the red. It's going to basically plug the hole and stop us from going too far into the red. Right now, this alone will not sustain the athletic program, but it will help us from falling deeper again into the red and into a situation that we don't want to be in.
Randy? You're muted, Randy.
Susan, you were muted too. I was trying to say.
Just a quick clarification question. When you say in the red, Brad, you mean the athletic portion of the budget, not the overall budget?
Yes, the athletic budget.
The portions of the line items that contribute or expended to help support the athletic and music programs.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's not self-sustaining. And even with this, it won't be self-sustaining, but it will help bridge the gap a little bit, bring us a little bit closer to where we have been prior to all the increased costs. And again, transportation has been a significant hit. And even the MIA has increased their membership fees, and the league has increased their membership fees. Officials, everything has gone up since 2015. We're 7 years out, and we really do need to make an adjustment. And we, in the 245, will be meeting the league average. And it is pretty much all spelled out there. The only thing that's a little different is that we are asking reduced lunch students to pay 50% of the fee, and free lunch students to pay 75% of the fee. Obviously, we would never stop a student from participating if money were an issue. 75% off. Sorry. But we are asking everyone to take some ownership in it as well. And if money is an issue, and the 50% off for reduced lunch and the 75% off for free lunch is not doable, then those would be private conversations that would be had between the administration and the family to make sure that no one is being excluded from the potential. But right now, there are no fees collected for free and reduced lunch.
Randy? And then Dave?
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify, Brad, that the policy subcommittee has not voted on this. I believe at the last meeting where we were talking about this, we asked you to come back with some other information. I think raising the rates was not a question. I don't want to speak for the policy subcommittee because we have not officially voted on it, but this is not the final version of anything that we have at this point in time voted to say that we recommend it.
Right. If I said that, I misspoke. I apologize. And I do have pretty much everything has been. I know that Principal McMahon did bring this to the student leadership, especially in regard to the fees, the class dues, and there does not appear to be an issue with that based on his conversation. Just to highlight that the class dues right now at $25 per year, we're recommending that those go to $50 per year. And just to clarify, that would essentially be a savings account for each student that deposited money into the dues. So if a student next year as a freshman goes through 4 years of high school and they end up with $200 in their account, that $200 will be put directly towards that student's senior week activities, things such as prom tickets, cap and gown, things of that nature, which currently are in excess of $200, really closer to $300, but it will avoid a significant hit basically all at once on a family, and allow the families to have a little bit of a savings prior to getting to that point. And that would certainly cover more than half of it. But that money, even though it's called dues and the kids are paying it, that's actually going to be used specifically for each individual student. If a student does not participate in the program, then they'll have to pay the full whatever the full cost is in order to participate come their senior year.
Mr. McMahon, do you have a comment?
Yeah, and speaking with student leaders, student council members last Thursday, I believe, had a dialogue and basically kind of broached the subject with some of them as student leaders. How do they feel about the increase, in the class dues, which all parties admitted have not been advertised as much as they probably could have been in the past. But if you break it down, it's really a $5 a month expense. One of the kids brought it to my attention that if the request $50 per year for class dues, it really boils down to $5 per month. So most of the students in the group thought that was attainable for most students at the school. So just a side note.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. Dave?
Has there been any consideration of raising the ticket prices at sporting events?
Yes, so that's actually something that is being addressed as well, but that is something that is currently falls just based on the way things have done previously. I think back in 2016, the decision was made that would be that decision will be at the administration level, not the school committee level. So that has been the fees are actually in the document for ticket prices. We did not really. There were no changes recommended, other than a couple of small changes. For instance, right now, middle school basketball, there is no charge, and those tend to be very crowded events. We are recommending a change there. We're recommending some minor adjustments for middle school plays and musicals. The 4th and 5th grade concert and high school and middle school concerts, minor adjustments, but nothing right now for athletic events because they seem to be pretty much in line with everything else that we're doing. It's $5 for adults and $3 for students and senior citizens. And then any tournament games, that's dictated by the MIAA. And the money goes to the MIAA for those events. So they dictate those ticket prices, not the district.
Thank you. Susan?
Yes, I'm off mute. Back to the dues question. Would there be any circumstance in which a student, in the past, there's been years past, been discussion about the payment of student dues and the participation in graduation ceremonies. And I think this committee has made it clear that students, I think it's even a policy, Randy, that students will be able to participate in the graduation. And there was efforts in the past, many years ago, to kind of hold students almost like, sorry, pay up or you can't participate in the graduation ceremonies. And I find that to be unacceptable. And so has committees of the past, and I want to make sure we're not marching in that direction.
No, that's not the intent. The intent is to make sure, again, that we're not hitting families with large amounts of things that they can't pay for. I would say that the graduation would be very different from the prom and some other senior activities that may take place, which are completely dependent on the sale of tickets. Where graduation is certainly different. So the intent is not to take someone that does not pay their dues, and dues aren't required. It's more or less meant as a way to help families plan to avoid, again, it's senior week, and now it's $300 to between your $40 for a cap and gown, $75 for a prom ticket, tuxedos, all of that stuff, and dresses. It's just trying to help defray the cost a little bit. That's all.
I'm sure a family, if they wanted to, could deposit all 4 years into that
Yes.
account right up front.
Mm-hmm.
If they know they have it now, they want to get it in there and
Yes.
not worry about it. Right.
And that's something that will be maintained in the main office. And there'll be, record keeping, and it's really only going to be in in place next year for freshmen, because everyone else it's been 25, so it's going to take time to get to that point. And it's not required, but it's something that the high school administration is going to market and try to get families to see the value, and slowly preparing for that and having a little slush fund for when the time comes.
Craig, I had a few other comments, but if anyone else wants to make a comment on the dues, I'll yield before I finish.
You go ahead and finish, and then we'll go to Randy.
Okay. Yes, when I look at high school and middle school sports, I see it as part of the mission of what we do, part of the programming, the educational programming that we offer. Now, I'm not saying that it should be free to participate. I think anything should have some cost to it to participate. It adds value and meaning to the people that are joining. But, this is certainly not a club program or a travel program where 100% of the cost needs to be covered by those. It's part of educating the students. It's giving them this opportunity. So I just wanted to share with you my mindset. I'm not suggesting zero, but I'm suggesting that our mindset should be it's part of the programming we offer, and we're not looking for 100% coverage of costs. I'm sure there are certain classes we offer that are more expensive than other classes. Not all students are equally participating in the expensive or inexpensive classes. So that's the one point I wanted to make. And the other comment I wanted to make that I don't think we ever, and what goes along with that is I don't think we ever intended athletics to be self-sustaining, because again, it's a part of our programming, in my opinion. That's all I have to say on that. Thank you.
Thanks, Susan. Randy?
Just a quick question as I thought of it now when, Brad, that you were talking about the dues changing how they've been used and being used more as a savings account now. And Tim probably would be the one to answer this question. I was always under the impression that they wanted the dues each year, or at least up front as early as possible, because the money that was collected could serve as a down payment for venues, or for money to, kind of get an event started, and they had some funds to purchase the stuff before they got the ticket sales and things like that. How is that going to work if any dues that are paid in are tagged to a specific person?
So a couple of things that came out of that dialogue with students last week was, does one of the frustrations some of the current student leaders had was they're paying their dues. Most other students are not. So in many ways you have, let's say 20 to 30% of the class subsidizing events for the remainder of their classmates. Whereas, having an account personalized will allow students to kind of chip away at their expenses, especially senior year. But also another thing that one of the students tossed around as an idea was, if each year 90% of your money went to your account, 10% of what you gave of dues went to a collective fund. So to be fair, Randy, we haven't hammered out that last detail. I think that involves more student feedback, to be honest. But the feedback I got from most kids last week was that those that have paid dues were disenfranchised because most others were not, and they felt like, why am I helping to subsidize when my classmates aren't jumping on board? And I think we have to own a part of that as well, with the class advisors and the administration have to work better to, I think, market that to parents in high school when they enter as ninth graders. It has not been part of our programming in ninth grade orientation in the past. So I think we have to kind of beef that up as well. But that's we have not solidified how that would break down, if it's 100% to individuals or 90-10, something like that. But I do think the kids I spoke to would rather be in the direction of away from the whole and more individualized.
It makes sense to me how the math works on that.
Any other questions or comments? All right. Brad, you were not looking for a vote tonight, were you, on this? Okay, good. All right, then if there's nothing else, we'll move on to executive session. Someone would like to make the motion?
I will move that the school committee meets in executive session pursuant to MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A for the following purpose. Purpose 3, to discuss strategy with respect to and preparation for collective bargaining with the North Middlesex Regional School District Teachers Association because an open discussion may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the committee. And purpose 7, to comply with or act under the authority of any general or special law or federal grant in aid requirements. And for the approval of executive session minutes dated November 7th, 2022, July 25th, 2022, July 8th, 2022, June 8th, 2021. I'm just assuming that November 7th was accidentally written twice. There's not two sets.
No, there are two sets. It's for, I think it's for the negotiation committee, so.
Okay, then I apologize. I will add in a second November 7th, 2022 in my motion.
Second.
All right. Motion's been made and seconded. This is to enter executive session. Dave,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
June,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
and I will vote yes. So the school committee will now be meeting in executive session pursuant to MGL Chapter 30A, Section 21A for the following purposes. Purpose 3, to discuss strategy with respect to and in preparation for collective bargaining with the North Middlesex Regional School District Teachers Association because an open discussion may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the committee. And purpose 7, to comply with or act under the authority of any general or special law or federal grant and aid requirements. The approval of executive session minutes dated November 7, 2022, another November 7, 2022. July 25th, 2022, July 8th, 2022, and June 8th, 2021. The committee will reconvene in open session. So we'll be back here soon. We'll see everybody else on the exec session. Thanks. All right. Well, so we're back into open session, and Tom, I'll turn it over to you for the update regarding negotiation and personnel.
All right, let me see if I can pull this one back out again. So I will make a motion, or I will make a motion to authorize administration to pursue a non-precedent setting grievance settlement in consultation with legal counsel on the matter of prorated personal days with the secretarial unit.
Second.
June, any questions, comments on that? All right, Dave,
Yes.
Jessica,
Yes.
June,
Yes.
Lisa has not found her way back. Randy,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
and I will vote yes. Oh, I see Lisa. Hold on. Lisa is in.
She's the There she is.
All right. Sorry, Lisa. I don't know how much of that you heard.
Yes.
But
Yep. I heard it all. Yes.
Okay.
My vote is yes.
Thank you. All right. Anything else for this evening? Otherwise, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All right, Dave and June. Dave,
Yep.
Jessica,
Yes.
June,
Yes.
Lisa,
Yes.
Randy,
Yes.
Susan,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes. So we are adjourned, everybody. Thanks a lot. Have a good night. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see y'all soon.